you know. And so I'm glad you could make it. I'm glad you can take a lot of back, you know, to the house, because otherwise you would have to stay down here until the rest of the day.
It's Millard Fuller.
Huh?
So that's Millard Fuller, the founder of the Fuller Center.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Okay. And so he got everything up. And so they're going to have first few minutes, we're going to deal with you, you know, background, education, and experiences. And then we're going to show that and give you an opportunity.
Y'all want to hear these videos as well?
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's only one video. That's in the segment one part. And then the rest are still photos.
The rest are still photos.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want audio from that video?
We could do that because it kind of explains what the Fuller Center is about. So I guess I'll start off kind of talking about who I am, and then about the Fuller Center bike adventure, and then you could play the video then because it explains you know, exactly what the bike adventure is all about, and then I'll talk about, you know, the rest of the stuff under.
We had some ideas and tried working on various things, and then at one point I made a suggestion to him on a single sheet of paper and showed it to him, had at the top Fuller Center bicycle adventure, and he looked at it, read through the proposal, and said, you know, my favorite word on this sheet of paper is the word annual. And so we've been doing the rides ever since. That was in 2008 was our first ride. And that year we went to San Diego, California.
I mean, well, will it play on
we had
air?
just 8 of us
Here in the whole
across
thing?
the country.
If it will, then.
I mean, we can play the whole thing. That's pretty much going to take up most of that first segment.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that is a big part of.
Yeah.
We won't play the whole thing.
Yeah. That's why we wanted to have that 6 minutes. And we're going to play the whole thing during this first segment after I introduce him. And then I'll say, let's look at the video after that, and then we can switch to the video for the rest of that segment. So you open that first segment with me, introducing the two of us. And then I'll make some statements, and he'll make some statements, and then I'll say, let's watch the video. Yeah. And then we click the video on to go for the next 6 minutes, you see. And then he'll be making comments in reference to the video when it's appropriate,
He's got a plan to toss to you, pretty much. He'll introduce, what's your name again? I'm sorry.
Alvin.
He'll introduce Alvin, will introduce himself, and then we'll toss to you.
And don't switch that chair. Make that chair move.
Well, and will I be able to watch it there? Then?
Yeah, you just watch it at any of them.
You said at number 6.
Yeah, you just.
You told me to turn right
Yeah,
there.
well, you just, don't. Nah.
So I can watch on too.
Hey, Dr. Haney, since it's about a 3-minute video.
Okay.
So if we get 2 minutes into the top of the segment and we haven't tossed to it, I'm gonna give you I'll do this. Say toss to the video, so we can get it in there, play the whole thing. Then we got about a minute to come out to y'all to wrap it up. Before we go to commercial break.
And that's right. Well, that sounds good. You just let me know when you're coming in. Sure. Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is summer cycling adventure, And we're fortunate to have with us to talk about summer cycling adventure, Alvin Haney. Alvin Haney is a teacher at Meg's Magnet School, and he has a lot of information in reference to his summer adventure, riding a bicycle all over many, many places. Oh, AJ, let's see if we can have you to make some statements in reference about some of the things that you've been involved with.
Okay, well, thank you for inviting me to come along to the show again this year. As a school teacher, we have the summers off, so I spend most of my summers enjoying, the free time and not having to educate, but I also like to do a lot of bicycling. I call myself an endurance cyclist, and in cycling, I like to go out and, do lots of miles, where a typical person on a Sunday evening may go and do 5 to 10 miles. I want to go do 80 or 90 miles. So I found myself in the situation where I'm looking for bigger and bigger adventures to participate in.
Okay, and so I think that what we'll do, we'll look at some of those, some of your activities in reference to
one of the groups that I do participate with is the Fuller Center Bike Adventure. And I think the video is explaining what the Fuller Center is all about, why they have the bike adventure, and it'll kind of let you know one of the things I was involved in.
Okay, they're going to run that now.
My name is Ryan Eifield. 9 years ago, God led me to come join the Fuller Center for Housing as a volunteer straight out of college. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do there, but I had the charge given by Millard Fuller, the founder of the organization. He asked me to try to help get the next generation involved. So we had some ideas and we tried working on various things. And then at one point I made a suggestion to him on a single sheet of paper and showed it to him, had at the top Fuller Center Bicycle Adventure. And he looked at it, read through the proposal, and said, my favorite word on this sheet of paper is the word annual. And so we've been doing the rides ever since. That was in 2008 was our first ride. And that year we went from San Diego, California to Savannah, Georgia. We had just 8 of us go across the country. We stopped and worked on various Fuller Center build sites. As usual, we also had different segment riders who joined us as we went. But the idea that we had that very first year is exactly what we still do with Fuller Center Bicycle Adventure today. It's just on a larger scale. It's been growing and growing. It's been terribly exciting. So today we have about 35 riders who are crossing the country. It's actually so many we had to break into 2 rides. So we have 35 going the whole way and about another 60 who are doing 3 weeks or 5 weeks or 1 week, different segments along the way, break it up into week-long segments, just to give everyone an opportunity to join. And all of us who are part of the journey stop and we just stay in churches along the way. We live very simply, but we live very fine. It's very, very good. We get to meet lots of people in the communities. We speak to churches. We get opportunities to share about what we're doing, why we're doing it. And then, whenever possible, we stop at a Fuller Center for Housing project along the way, lend our own hands, whether it's hammering nails or painting or laying a roof or cleaning the yard, whatever we're doing, contributing to the work of the Fuller Center for Housing. And so today, it's a tremendous opportunity for people to get involved with the work that we do. It's a little tour de Fuller of visiting Fuller Center projects across the United States, and a great way to raise support for all the work, the donations of people who we meet, but also those who the riders already know, their family and friends and their home churches, and their co-workers, whoever chooses to support it. We invite you to come get involved with what we're doing. Come ride with us. As we say, ride a bike or ride a check. Either way, come get involved, take some action, do something with the Fuller Center for that.
Washington to Washington! Hooray!
Now, this gives us an opportunity during the second segment to talk about some more of those activities that you are involved in. But this is something that you've been involved with for many, many years. Is it not, AJ?
Yes, it is. This is my 5th year with the Fuller Center. As you see, I participated in just a part of the bike adventure this year. Last year I was able to go coast to coast, to go from California to Maine, and so I chose to only do 2 weeks this year with them. Another part of the things that I did this summer was to make sure that I covered as many states as I could. You know, after achieving the goal of going cross country, my next goal is to cycle in all 50 states. So I was able to ride with the Fuller Center. I was able to ride my bike, you know, before the Fuller Center adventure and after, to try to cover as many states as I could.
Okay, and so what we'll do, we'll take our first commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll start with the second segment. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. On the from the video, and so this is the second video we're going to come back now. What
So they're going to show the pictures while we're...
Right. So do you want to run through all the pictures all at once?
I don't know. With the timing, I mean, I basically just go through all the states. I have, I think, one picture for each state, kind of talking about the states that I traveled through. And I guess if you, well, I don't know how, whatever you think is best, you know, where we could show the picture and I could, you know, say, well, that's where I was in so-and-so or this and that, or, you know, lots of state lines.
What might be easiest for us is to pop the pictures up. You'll see them on these
Right,
screens right
right.
over here, and you can talk about
Right.
what that is, and then we'll go to the next one.
Right,
You can talk about
right,
that.
right. Okay.
So it'd be easier for us to pop them up and you follow along with it than
Right.
you try to talk
Right,
about it and
right,
try to pop it up.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
good.
That's
That's
fine.
good.
That's fine.
And so what I'll do during the second segment is just introduce the second segment, and then you'll start.
Right.
Well,
27.
I guess you can tell us, you know, y'all can pretty much say, I've got some pictures.
Yeah.
pop up.
Yeah, I want to.
Okay, good. I'll welcome them back to the show and give them the topic, and then we'll say that something about the pictures that we have available, and let's look at watch some of the pictures, and then you look at that, and as they pop up, you explain them. Yeah, this is working. I didn't know how we're going to do. I knew I want that drive. Don't leave here with that. You understand that?
Well, I never did get it back last time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
know. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got to get it from them. You get it from them in case they need it for the rest of the day, and then when you leave,
What
get it.
you call this? Bicycling adventures.
Summer cycling adventure.
Summer cycling adventures. And this is where we're going to bring up the idea that you got some pictures that you might want to show, and then they're going to start.
Well, just say, tell me a little bit more about, you know, what you did this summer, and then I'll start it off with where I started, and I'll say, we'll go to the pictures, and they'll pop them up. And I should be able to tell what state I'm in.
When you go out there, you tell the folks that we'll be with them after a while. Pastor Walker's out there. I think he's out there, and him and the men in uniform. That's, you know, they didn't come to arrest anybody. He brought them with him. We're going to talk about community policing, whatever. Summer cycling adventures.
Taking a minute to get the pictures downloaded.
Now, we'll have 8 minutes for this segment. You see, however, they cut it up there. And then we'll come back to that final segment. Now, you're doing the pictures on this segment. Now, what are you going to do on that?
There's some more. There's more pictures.
Good. That's good. And so the way we were able to weave this into what we're doing now, you see what we're doing. You see how it's, I mean, we're getting the audio. I don't know. See, you know. So you know the audio that you had. And so we're picking that audio up when we, okay, good. Gotta try to get out of here. We don't run out of time here. I will be loading all of them at the same time here. All right.
We're still waiting on him getting all the pictures together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to download them from the thumb drive to the computer and then set them up in a slideshow. So.
Mm-hmm. Will we be able to run all of those on through the rest of the show? Uh-huh. Yeah, that'll be good. other shows lining up here. So I get out of this one and go into here. And then by that time, we can pick up some time here on Dr. Baldwin's show. Thank you and welcome back to the second segment of the show for today. We're talking to Alvin Haney, and he's giving us some information in reference to cycling during the summer. And he's already given us some information in reference to the reason that he became involved with what he's doing. Let's pick up at this point, AJ, and let's see if we can watch some of the images that you have. I think that
like I said, the second goal that I had was definitely to make sure that I cycled in as many states as I could this summer. I was able to cycle in 19 different states, which was 13 new ones to me, and kind of took some images along the way. A lot of them I tried to find the state line sign, trying to find out where it says welcome to whatever state that you're in, and that ended up being quite a task itself. But again, I did bring along some images, and I can share those with you as well.
Okay, I think we're making preparation for those.
Okay, so Montana was one of the states that I traveled in with the Fuller Center Bike Adventure. We were able to start in Seattle, Washington, and go across Washington to Montana, and stopping in, and also through Idaho and stopping in Yellowstone Park in Montana. So that was when I found that state line sign. Idaho, again, that was before Washington. We got a chance to stay in Kellogg, Idaho, with one of the Fuller Center Covenant partners there, and that is one of the pictures there. There I'm on the Coeur d'Alene Trail, which is one of the nicer bike trails that they have in Idaho. It's a 54-mile trail. We had to do a lot of climbing on our bicycles. We had to go up a lot of mountain passes, and this is going up Stevens Pass on a very cold morning in the state of Washington. The climbing aspect of cycling is not something I'm very good at, but I'm learning to love it. This was our starting day in Washington, Seattle, Washington, kind of overlooking the landmarks there and starting there at the ocean in Seattle. They are actually traveling from Seattle, Washington to Washington, D.C. And as I said, I chose to only do 2 weeks with them. Getting out to Washington State, of course, I had to go through a few states. I had to travel through Oregon, so stopped in Eugene, Oregon. I had to stop in Sacramento, California, and I did some cycling there. It was another state that I was able to cover. I went through Las Vegas, Nevada, and this is one of the landmarks in Las Vegas as I cycled with one of the local clubs there. Of course, I had to go through Arizona, and was able to stay with some family members as well, traveling through Arizona, through New Mexico, had to cross there. There is Oklahoma City, I believe, or Albuquerque, yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico, I believe, is that particular image at one of the parks there. Went through Dallas, Texas, so was able to stay in one of the suburbs of Dallas and do some riding as well. This one is in Louisiana, which was the first state that I stopped in, and at one of the parks there in Louisiana.
And so in a real sense, AJ, all of this information